Hello, welcome to JQuery tutorial. So this is a part of a series of JQuery tutorials which I put together. So please, they're all sequenced one after another. So please go through the earlier video tutorials if you haven't gone through them. So today we're going to discuss some more on the things what we've discussed before, some more enhancements. So for example, in the last time we talked about selector and action, and we saw this one, how this accesses the p element. So if you see the code here, now we have something called a button, and then we have a click me, and here we are accessing, as I explained you, anything dollar within that you can access an element. So here we are accessing the button element, and then we are defining again a click, and then we are doing another hide. So here and here, as you see, when you click on button, then it selects the p tag and then it hides it. So let's see how it performs. So we have a bunch of p tags here, and we have this one line which has no tags. So let's see what happens here. So I'm going to reload the file. So let's say this is our button. Okay, so as you see, we have only one life left, which is this line has no p tag. So let's look at our program here. So what is happening is, when you click on it, it says when the button is clicked, do this one, then it does this one, hide. So what that means is that it takes all the elements which has p tag. I mean, it takes this one, it takes this one, it takes this one, it leaves this one, HR, and all this text, and definitely this line. So which is different than, see, in the last time when we clicked here, we are only hiding one element. That's because you have got this. So that means when you do this, it only accepts the line which is selected. So which is this one, if you click on text here. So I think you get the concepts of how we can access an element using this and then perform an action. So here we access button element and define an action click, and when that click happens, we define another selector. So select the p tag and hide it. So when you do this, it selects all the p tags. So if you have so for example, if you have multiple buttons, and then if you define button, it will select all the buttons. So now let's discuss a little bit about what are the different ways you can install it. So one thing I want to check, look at this statement. It's, as I said, it's a library of JavaScript function. The basic thing is that it is a lightweight, do more with less coding just by using library functions. It has basically following features. With that, I showed you how you're accessing the buttons or p tags. So you can select an HTML element, you can manipulate it. Manipulate means we can show, hide it, we can even change the text, we can do CSS manipulation. So if you already have using CSS, and let's say you, for example, you have already you have a bold let's say text, and when someone clicks, you want to put a color in the background, so you can do that, and we'll go over some of the examples. HTML event functions, JavaScript effects, animations. So you can make things toggle, disappear, or blink, and all those things. Then also it has very powerful Ajax utilities or Ajax functions, and this is probably you have HTML DOM traversal and modification. What that means is that, so HTML, when your page loads, it's basically a DOM, which is a document object model. If you have not heard of this term, you can do some googling around it. But basically your DOM, which is your HTML document, it constitutes of several elements in a hierarchical manner, and jQuery makes it very easy to traverse that hierarchy using its selector method and basically action to do modification. So now let's take some more examples of how we can access elements and what are the different things we can do. So jQuery has we are discussing about how it can access elements. So as you see here, we have this dot hide, which we've gone through it. P, it's basically hide. It takes all the elements which is P tag. Then if you have this sort of syntax, P dot test, it hides all the paragraphs with class test. So anytime you have dot and then followed by something, it basically takes all the class wherever the element has class equal to test. So we'll go over some of the examples, and then wherever you have pound sign, it basically grabs all the element with id equal to test. So let's go over an example here. So here, as you see, here I have few elements here. So this is a P and id equal to 1, P where id equal to 2, and then we have a class first, second, and then I have two functions. One is button, another is both are buttons. So maybe we can okay, we have only one button. So click me to vanish text. So when you click on button, it will come here. Okay, I think I'm missing document ready function, so let me add that. So okay, I have added my document ready. So let's see how it works. So let me go here, refresh this. Okay, so I have all my elements. So click here. So okay, so I have only left with this text has id 2, this text has class second. So let's now look at the code. So as soon as I click on button, so both this code get executed, and then piece. So that means it took the P tag and it hid this one because id equal to 1, and then this code it hid the first element, so it skipped the second one. So at the end you're left with this, and rest all didn't have P tag. So this has P tag, but then it didn't get hidden because we don't have just P tag. We are always accessing an element or a class. So if you see what is left here, this is left, and then this is also another. It has P tag, but it doesn't have the class or an ID. So I think that sort of gives you an idea of what the syntax looks like, how to access the class. How to access using the selector methods different elements in a class. So we'll go over some of the more examples. So if you change that to just P a hide, it will grab all the P elements and it will hide all of them. So let me refresh the page. So if you click there, see it has hidden all the P elements. So it doesn't matter what ID or class, it grabs everything. So for another way to do it is that if you want to grab all the classes, so let's say if you grab all the classes, so for example let's put another class, maybe put BR class first, and we do BR, and then here we do first. So we are grabbing all the first classes with first. So that means this and this both should get vanished. So let's refresh the page, and so I have okay. So if you see, all the class first got vanished. Okay, so we are giving an example. So this time I moved another class called href, and I put also the class first. And as you see here, so I should have this one hidden and this one hidden. So this BR tag has class first and first. So these both should get hidden. Okay. So I think that gives you a good idea of how to access the different classes and perform different elements within an HTML DOM. So what we are really going is that basically accessing different elements with the HTML document.